Call the cops on me. On a mission to be champs and stay let me free. Prepare for combat, my adversaries crumble. Face it, I got a reputation for damage. Busters get ready to rumble. They lock me in a cell, have me trapped in a living hell. Though not guilty, I'm still in jail. Brother, I serve my time like a soldier. Maintain composure. My shadow boxing, the fight to the death. Busting boulders. Every boxer with a pair of gloves. Best give up love. Here's a man from the makings of a thug. A lethal weapon, mind sharp. And in my heart, there's a wish to shake the world with the flurry of my black fist. Now once a high school dropout, now I'm the $1 million champ. Who's the next to get knocked out? Straight out of Brooklyn and worldwide.
All right, what's happening, people? Cheap Seats Boxing Show is here. Half of the dynamic duo JP. We're gonna split this up. Last night was Valentine's Day, so that's why this happened. For all the lovers in you. You know, we love the lovers, and we love boxing too, so we did it on Side Piece Day. Okay? Now, please rate and review. Enjoy the show. If you've enjoyed the show, rate, review. You know, keep us up there. Keep us relevant when it comes to this boxing. We're on it pretty much every platform. So type up the show. You're going to find us somewhere. SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Windows, YouTube. We there. Zoom. What's popping? Now, let's get right into the mix. Today, we're going to talk about the upcoming fights this week. We were supposed to do a top 5. I'm going to still do my half of a top 5 power punches in boxing. And also a little bit of the news on Broner and Figueroa. Just an opinion, not necessarily the news. So let's get into it. First, Beltran Moses. Now, this is a WBO title, vacant title bout. Ron is the less active fighter. So, like I said, it's kind of irony. So, and Beltran has had better competition. But obviously you don't get to the top of the heap by being a pushover. Even though this guy's he's from Namibia, so in boxing terms he's out of nowhere. But like we always say, when it comes to those Africans and Asians, the Africans and Japanese fighters, all they has the advantage, like I said earlier, of having better competition. But his disadvantage is the longer layoff. Moses fought twice last year. Beltran didn't fight at all. And, you know, we'd be remiss to say that maybe Beltran looks... He's been looking great. When he has fought, he's been looking great. Moses had 2 knockouts last year, so difference. You know, personally, I would say the cards are all leading in Ray Beltran's favor. You know, in America, people probably want to see him the champ, so he has home field advantage. He had been fighting great, and he had been passing his test. You know, the edge would be like, you know, that man got to be on something. Which you could make that argument. You really could, because his power came out of nowhere, right? So as of now, I would say Beltran wins. But he's gonna have to get through the fight. The reason I said that because Morris has been knocking out people. He's been knocking out people, but this fight may go a little longer than expected. So I'm not sure if he lasts past 7 as far as power is concerned. So that's my opinion on that. The other fight, because we're going to work up to the top. Alexander Ortiz, which is 2 fighters making a comeback in a sense. This is Alexander's really first comeback. This is Ortiz's 3rd, 4th comeback maybe. So, you know, Ortiz, though he keeps coming back, and it shows that that's not quitting him. He still has the label of a quitter because of what he does once he gets in the ring. You know, he's like a broken fighter. So in this one, you know, I would say Alexander has the advantage because he's hungry again. And I think he's probably the better boxer out of the 2. And, you know, Ortiz has his thing where, he's going to come out strong. He's going to do some bully stuff. Once you withstand the bullying, you fight back, and then he lays down. So I don't see it being any different. I mean, that's just his MO. Like, it's great when he stands his ground, but when it comes to the bigger opponents, that's not his it's not his MO. That's not what he does. So, in my opinion, Alexander, ironically by knockout, they're both southpaws, so that's going to be interesting too, because just see how they're able to take each other. Pause. But I'm going with Alexander on this one. He just can't. I can't trust Ortiz. I just can't. Groves versus Eubank Jr. I think this is a pretty interesting fight because you got Eubank Jr. who's on the who's star power and his ring IQ and generalship and his look of comfort in the ring is on the rise. And then you got Groves who's like, he's purgatory. We know how good he is and can be, but is he still there? You get what I'm saying? Is he present in the moment when it comes to the fights? And sometimes people think about, like, when I watch fighters, sometimes fighters aren't shot as far as skill level and ability, but they're just not focused. They still could be the same. They can still have the same ability as a fighter, but they're just not dialed in. And this is the reason why I take Eubank in this fight is because I don't think Groves is fully dialed in anymore. I could be wrong, but it's just certain characteristics I see in fighters who aren't all in, who like, this is my job. I'm just doing my job. It's not. Maybe it's not. The love isn't there like it once was, or maybe it's just the politics have kind of worn them down and like, man, this is just stupid. I just want to fight, whatever. But whatever it is, he just doesn't seem fully focused. So for me, I'm taking Eubank because Eubank seems to be the hungrier of the two. But you cannot overlook Groves, though. Because, he's still a good fighter. If you go in there thinking, oh, I got this in the bag, yeah, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get your lunch handed to you. But I think Groves is more beatable at this point than Eubank is beatable at this point. So, I gotta go Eubank Jr. Interesting though. Very interesting fight. Last but not least, Garcia Rios. This is a pick'em for different reasons. Garcia has advantages. He has youth on his side. He has the power advantage. He has the speed advantage in his. So on paper, things are really leaning in his favor. He looks in great shape. But the irony of it is, he's a headhunter, and he looked better in his loss than Rios looked in his last fight, I would say. Because of the competition part. But that activity, man. That you can't get past that. You just can't get past that. And Rios is talking, he back to talking like Bam Bam. He like, look, I'm gonna gloat after this fight's over with. He said a few things that I didn't, as a person watching another person, I was kind of nervous because, sometimes fighters have these small gestures that scream they concede. even if they're not trying to do it. And I saw a couple of those. But at the same time, I saw the flip side when he said, y'all put me down as the underdog. I'm gonna make you pay for that. So what I didn't do was I didn't see the timeline between the two. I didn't see what came first, what came second. So I can't really speak on it the way I would like to because I just was listening. I actually didn't look at the date, the timestamps on them. So if he talked the underdog part last, he's dialed into this fight. And this is just going to be a dog-eat-dog fight. And that's what's, in my opinion, probably more so on Bam Bam's favor. Because I think he can last longer in a dog fight than a boxing match. And I think Garcia is willing to fight. I think he's more fighter than boxer anyways. So I think that's why I said it's a pick 'em fight, because if he was using his skills as a better boxer, I will give Garcia the advantage. But because I feel like he's going to come in at a fight, because he always really comes to fight, that's more so leaning in the style that is more Brandon Rios' style. So this is a pick 'em fight. I don't know who to pick in this fight, to be perfectly honest. I would pick Garcia, because I would think if the fighting doesn't work, he'll change tactics, so he has more options to go to. But at the same time, I don't see him changing his MO. That's just my opinion. So for now, I go with Garcia reluctantly, because, like I said, it's a pick 'em fight, because I think it's just going to be a straight up dog fight, and dog fights usually lean in Brandon's favor. But that's why they fight. Now, next, I'm going to get into the news part first. For all y'all who know, Adrian Broner had put out his tweets, and then the next day he got arrested, and then Figueroa got arrested. Like I said this before, I don't know Adrian Broner, but I know what he puts out into the world is not a good look. And I'm not going to jump down his throat about this assault charge, because we live in a climate where all you got to do is accuse somebody and they're guilty. And then when it comes out that it didn't happen like that, nobody cares. But I would get on Broner about, you just can't stay out of that nightlife. And this is what happens when you can't stay out of that nightlife, because in particular, he's a target. Because people look at him as the dude that's going to act ignorant. So, he's going to get in more trouble, because he just can't stay out of the streets. I mean, getting shot at doesn't make you think going to jail because you was running lights, got shot at, moving from one city to the next, punching a guy in Vegas. It's a thing after thing after thing. And the common theme with all of this stuff has been, in my opinion, him in a nightlife. The weight issues, nightlife. The not focused issues, nightlife. The trouble issues, nightlife. The perception that he put out, I can't say the perception, how he put himself out to the world to be as ignorant as he can be on a regular basis, has to do with him promoting for the nightlife. Nothing to do with boxing. So, everybody could get it from those old world star hip hop videos all the way to this arrest. Is in some way, shape, form, or fashion going to the club, like pre-gaming for the club, what happened after the club or in the club, or, it's not just minding my business, eating lunch with the kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not that. So, like, is there any sympathy for him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because, to be perfectly honest, all he has to do is get away from the nightlife. But he chooses not to. The bowling alley incident, same thing, nightlife. And I'm just pointing out what I see as a pattern. But the good thing is, he's fighting Figueroa. Because guess what? You would think you're an undefeated fighter. You want to come up. You fighting Adrian Broner, right? I would think, if I'm fighting Adrian Broner, he's not going to take this fight serious. He's going to be out in the streets acting a fool. So he's not really going to be prepared. So all I got to do is, put my hard hat on and get my lunch pail and go to work in his gym. He going to have all this other stuff going on. But you get caught with a DUI out at 3, almost 4 in the morning. So you're not taking your job just as you're just as irresponsible as he is. When you're fighting a fighter who gives you a strategic edge on the way that he prepares for fights because he's out there in the nightlife. So on one end, like I said, I have no sympathy for Adrian Broner. On another end, I have no sympathy for Omar Figueroa because you know who you fighting and you trying to outdo him being stupid. But you have your own issues of ups and downs and silliness. You just don't have as bad of a track record. So to me, y'all the same person. But like I said, your track record ain't as bad. It's not. I can't say it's that. But you of all people should have been like, yo, this finna be a breeze. But no, big fella, you had to do the same thing. So, I will say this, because of both of you guys' extracurricular activities, whoever loses this fight, don't be surprised if boxing for some period of time washes their hands with you. Because Broner's almost out the door because of all of his outside things. Figueroa is undefeated, but him not fulfilling his potential because of his immaturity is people waiting for him to lose and say, I'm done with you, man. One loss or not, I'm done with you because you play too much. You should have been you should have been on top of the world instead of you just joking around. You full of it. At least you could say Broner is a 4-time champ. You just playing. You know what I mean? Both talented, but they're more talented at bullshitting rather. So that's my opinion. That's how I feel about that. That's what I think. Now let's get into this top 5. The top 5 power punches in boxing. In no particular order, except I'm going to put them in an order because there's a particular order. Yeah, I got my Rick James moment on just now. Okay. Number 5, I would say is Triple G. Because of the Canelo fight, it stopped his MO for being a power puncher, right? Triple G slash Kovalev. They're both powerful punchers. But because of, Triple G's fight with Canelo and not being able to put him down, and Kovalev's back-to-back losses to Ward, people sometimes dismiss their reputation that preceded that. And I can't. Like, those guys are heavy punchers. Like, if they catch you early, you going down. this ain't about who's the best fighter. Okay, I'm gonna say it like that. This is about who will put you to sleep, and those guys could do it. But I can't. But that's why they're my number 5. They're 1 and 2 because they're pretty much the same fighter. They could catch you, they could punish you, but sometimes their signatures aren't as big as these other guys. Number 4, Charlo. You know, I want to say both, but Jamal. You know, 160, the brother that moved up for y'all that don't know. He's the Hitman is a knockout artist, dog. Like, and this rest of this list is one hitter quitter specials. Like, these guys will catch you with one shot, and you know you'll be looking up, saying, "Man, how many stars are in the sky? Is that the blue? Is that the Big Dipper? Oh my God! I'm counting the lights." They will have you out there tripping, and people have seen for years, this guy is he ain't playing. He can catch you with multiple types of shots. I was gonna put him ahead of my number 3 because he's more versatile with his power punches. Like, I think he's got power in both hands with multiple punches. You got, like, he put a guy down with a jab, uppercut, hook. You know, like, you know, everybody who say they got who want some parts of him, keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth. I bet you don't want no problems with him. I'm just gonna say it because he's got them hands, the hands of God. My number 3 gotta be Lemieux. He's a fastball thrower, yes, we know, but he got that one hitter quitter. Like, at the end of the day, say what you will, if he catches you with that fastball, you sleep. He don't need 2 shots. He doesn't need a combination. If he presses you and he catches you, you done, son. It's over, son. We out of here, son. You know what I'm saying? People get knocked out every day, B. It is what it is. Like I said, this is not about who's the best fighter, but who's the best, the best puncher. And he's my number 3. Like, that Curtis Stevens knockout is just like, dog, jeez. Now, my number 2 is a fighter we constantly give the business to because, you know, he be on that bullshit. He's a sprinter. But number 2, as far as power punching, is Adonis Stevenson. He do have that one hitter quitter. He might run around with that title, you know, like a marathon runner. You know, he juking people like Barry Sanders with that belt on your ass with the shimmy and the shake. But if he catch you with that left, you going down. No bones about it. You're going down. And you're not getting up, probably. Like, and he has a good selection of punches too. It's not like he could just knock you out with the left, but it's something in that left, dog. It is something in that left. When the pimp hand is strong with Superman. Let's just say it like that. And yeah, like, I'm a hater. I'm definitely a hater when it comes to him because I don't like what he has done in recent years. But you have to say the obvious. Like, even when he was running from Kovalev, and people felt like Kovalev's the crusher, but at the same time, people said the same thing. Yeah, Kovalev the crusher, but if he get caught, he gonna go to sleep. He could go to sleep because Donis got that. He got that one hitter quitter. So think about that. Kovalev is on this list as number 5, but people felt like if they had gotten into a fight, punch for punch, he'll come out on top because he has a puncher's chance. You know, this is top 5 punches of, you know, people who have these guys could change a fight with one punch, even if they're down. Number 1, we all know who number 1 is. Bomb Squad! You know, it's Deontay Wilder. I mean, big country ass John Henry hammer that he be throwing. You know, it ain't nothing to say. He partially hitting people, dropping them. He hitting people flush, dropping them. He starts swinging. I don't know where his technique just goes out the window. He just loses his mind. But yes, remember he hit Spilker, and I was like, oh, call a coroner. It'll be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing. He got that. I'm going to put you to sleep. You know, sometimes he hit people. I start thinking Jay Holiday is singing Bed around this mug. I'm like, he gone, dog. He gone. The upper room. I think he done killed somebody. So, I mean, and it's so obvious. Like, even, who's the best heavyweight? Yeah, you might feel like people are better fighters. Let him catch you with a 1-2 and it's over. I don't care how good you are. I mean, I don't care how big these guys are. I don't care how strong these guys are. He is cracking. He is the number one power puncher in boxing. So on that note, this episode is done on this half, like a sparring session, right? Thank y'all for having us. I'm sure Angelo's going to put his 2 cents in later. So this is where the fighters fight and the fans commentate, and we do it just like that from the cheap seats, because we ain't buying no tickets, goddammit. Peace.
Please believe that I'll never be shamed again. Again, I'll be the next heavyweight champion. Call me crazy, but no one can fake me. I'm the product of the projects, lost and crazy. Throw your hands up, Mr. Bruno. Ride, Big Mike Tyson about to brutalize that ass tonight. No hesitation for the whole nation. I'll beat that ass so bad I'll probably violate probation. Through demonstration that I strategize information. Intent to kill, so it's real like I'm catching cases. Let the world know I plan to die. If I don't